May I come in, sir?
Yeah, I.
Good afternoon, sir.
Take your seat.
Thank you, sir.
You are Mr. Arpit.
Yes, sir.
So Arpit, what is your status today? You are already joined IPS or you have kept it in your pocket?
Sir, I am on extraordinary leave currently.
You are extraordinary.
Yes.
I see. But keeping in touch with what exactly is happening in police or not? Not yet.
Sir, not about the working of the police.
Not about working of
Yes,
police. Not interested to find out what good can be done to police.
Sir, I am reading about that.
Reading about that.
Yes.
That's very good. Okay. And you have done maths from IIT Delhi.
Yes, sir.
And chosen the same for your optional subject.
Yes.
Is it a good optional?
Sir, it
Or don't you think it's a bit dicey?
yes, sir. Sometimes it requires sometimes a lot of efforts, but it rewards you also.
Rewards are also very high.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you are a habitual risk taker? Are you always ready to take risk which is involved in this maths paper? Or no risk is involved?
Sir, I think risks are involved because it happens sometimes that if it is a 20-marker question, either you do it right or you don't know that.
Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Very good. Okay. Are you familiar with our neighbors? Neighbors means India's neighbors.
Yes.
Say Myanmar.
Yes, sir.
We have a state called Tripura.
Yes.
That side. Whether the boundary of Tripura and boundary of Myanmar touch each other or not?
Yes, sir. It touches.
Okay. And there is a community called Rohingya community.
Yes, sir.
And some of them are making trouble in India. They have come to India. What exactly is the issue with Rohingyas?
Sir, they faced political execution in Myanmar.
Persecution.
Persecution. I'm
Not
sorry,
persecution.
sir.
Yeah.
Thanks for correcting
Okay.
me. They are facing political persecution in Myanmar. So they are crossing the borders to Bangladesh and India.
So I understand that India's border with Myanmar starts from Arunachal Pradesh itself.
Yes, sir.
Arunachal Pradesh, then Nagaland, Manipur, etc. But they are not coming to Manipur or Nagaland. They are not even entering Arunachal Pradesh. Why they are going that side to Bangladesh?
Sir,
Any geographical issue is there?
Sir, they tried to travel by boats also. So generally it is connected to Bangladesh through sea. So that is one. And secondly, Bangladesh established certain camps for Rohingyas. That was specifically done for Rohingyas. So it might be that they might travel to Bangladesh because of that.
Do you think we should take advantage of turmoil which is there in Sri Lanka? Sri Lanka is in some problem.
Yes, sir.
Is there a way we take advantage of turmoil in Sri Lanka?
Sir, we should, the advantage in terms of
Whatever.
helping Sri Lanka, we should definitely do that because that will be advantages for India in building long-term good relations with Sri Lanka, as well as ensuring that there is less conflict in a neighboring country, which might spill over to India. So in that terms, we should try to help Sri Lanka, which will be advantageous for us in the long term.
Are we already helping by some means?
Yes, sir. We have extended line of credit to Sri Lanka and helping them with IMF negotiations.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Arpit, you are from Shamli, UP,
Yes, sir.
and loudspeaker issue is very current in UP these days.
Yes, sir.
So, what is your opinion on this entire issue of loudspeakers, legally and personally?
So legally, there are certain permissible limits on the noise pollution, be it from a religious institution or any other institution. So that should be kept in mind while installing loudspeakers. And the action.
What is that permissible limit?
Sir, it is different for different sectors. For example, it is different for the vehicles. It is different for any program, and it is different from private space. I'm not aware about the exact decibels. So So everything should be done under law, and if those limits are breached, then it is better to remove those loudspeakers which are against the law.
And any High Court judgment recently on loudspeakers? What is the judgment?
Sir, I cannot recall about that.
No problem.
I'm sorry.
No problem. Tell me, as DM of a district,
Yes, sir.
how would you tackle plastic pollution?
Sir, first of all, there should be proper implementation of plastic waste management rules, which will also include solid waste management rules, because sometimes it happens to go in the solid waste also. Sir, there should be start with curbing of single-use plastics, which we are aiming for this July to curb it. There should be proper awareness that should be spread regarding use of jute bags or cloth bags whenever a person travels, so that sensitization will go in for a longer run. And proper secretion of waste, proper separation of waste at source of plastic waste should also be implemented, so that it can be properly recycled or it can be properly reused later on.
And use of technology?
Sir, use of technology will come, we should work to get alternatives. Generally, it is that common people, when they don't find alternative, they resort to plastic waste. So in that terms, we have to work for an alternative.
Okay. If you are posted as Police Commissioner of Delhi,
Yes, sir.
how would you improve the image of police? What will you do to improve the image of?
Sir, I will work from both within the organization as well as how the citizens perceive the citizens of Delhi. So in terms of the internal working, my prime goal will be to ensure higher satisfaction at work of the police personnel by ensuring the working hours are limited, by proper optimizing the number of hours they work, and if they need holidays, then working around that also, so that administration also not suffer and they also get some leisure time with the family. Then their sensitivity training regarding gender sensibility, caste sensibility, communal sensibility, and sensibility towards even the criminals, which should be looked at the angle from the rehabilitation apart from retribution. Sir, also there should be more interaction among police and the society in general. So that would be my prime objectives.
Okay, very quickly, 2-3 more questions. You are interested in Shairi.
Yes, sir.
So I'll give you a line. किसी को मुकम्मल जहां नहीं मिलता, कभी आसमां कभी जमीन तो कभी आसमां नहीं मिलता. Who has written this?
I'm sorry, sir. I can't.
You don't know.
I
Okay,
don't.
let's come to mathematics.
Yes.
Is mathematics a discovery or invention?
Sir, it is a raging debate whether it's a discovery or invention. If it's an invention in the terms when we develop numbers, that we developed the abstract concept of using it for our benefit. But it's a discovery when we see certain patterns in the in our life, which tends to show certain mathematical patterns in those concepts. So,
Right. And what is contribution of Ramanujan?
sir, he worked in various fields. One was in series. He used to build infinite series, and he also was able to tell the value of pi up to, I think, 6 or 7 decimal places. And he also worked on quadratic equations. And there is a famous Ramanujan number attributed to Ramanujan.
What is that number?
The 1729.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah, Mr. Arpit, what does Arpit mean?
Sir, it means offering.
Offering.
Yes.
Okay. So you offer prayers?
Sir, not much.
No. Okay. So with which field should I ask you the questions? Mathematics, current affairs, state,
Sir,
or combination of two, combination of all three, whatever you
Sir,
want.
anything.
Anything.
Yes.
Okay, then let's start from maths only.
Yes.
if I tell you my date of birth, then can you prepare a square for me in which there will be 4 rows, 4 columns? And if we add all the columns, all the rows, and diagonal also, and middle square also, then the figure remains the same.
Sir, I have read about this Ramanujan. Ramanujan worked in this aspect, but I
Yeah,
can't recall.
Ramanujan worked in this regard. So, what do we call that?
I think it's called Ramanujan square. If I
That's
can
right,
recall
Ramanujan square. So, can you tell me the first row of that? If not in detail, then can you tell me what is the first row or first column we can say?
correctly. I'm sorry, I can't
Definitely
recall.
relates with date of birth, because I started the question from that very thing
Yes, sir,
only.
date of birth,
Date of birth.
definitely.
So, what is his date of birth?
Sir, it is the date of date, then month, then breaking
Yeah,
up
so
to-
this is what I'm asking, that what is his date of birth? And that is in the very first row.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Thank you.
Now, tell me,
Sir,
when do we observe National Mathematics Day?
sir, I can't recall.
It is his date of birth, 22nd of December.
December.
So, first row will be 22/12/1887. He was born in 1887. Now,
Thank you, sir.
can you tell me the minimum number which is divisible by all the figures starting from 1 to 10? Minimum number which is divisible by all numbers starting from 1 to 10.
It would be 2
Yeah,
into 3 into 2 into 3 into 5.
2 into 3 into 5,
Five.
2 3 is 6, 6 the 6 5 is 30, yeah.
30 into 7.
30 into 7, 210.
210.
Anyway, I tell you,
Into
it is
3
2520.
Okay, sir.
There is a minimum number which is divisible by all the numbers starting from 1 to 10.
Thank you, sir.
And that is also that was also discovered by Ramanujan. Now, once someone was talking to Ramanujan and he asked Mr. Ramanujan that, do you have any friend? He said, no, I don't have any. Why don't you have any friend? Because I have not found any person who is as good a friend as these two numbers are, 280 and 284. Can you recall? He said 220 and 284. If the friends are available like those numbers, then only I will be having friend, because they can replace each other. Do you have any idea?
I know that his friends were numbers, but I don't know what these two numbers, sir.
Okay, 220 and 284. Anyway, that is a different story. So let's start with current affairs then. B3W. What is this? B3W.
B3W.
That's right. Somewhat related with BRI. You might be knowing BRI. Yeah. Tell me.
Build back better world.
That's right. So who gave that idea? Bring back better world.
Sir, I know that it was asked about in the Sendai framework, where we talked about
In
build back better as a concept was talked about in Sendai framework for disaster. Sendai framework for
Okay.
disaster risk resilience.
Was there any meeting going on related with G7 countries in which our Honorable Prime Minister was also a special invitee?
Yes, sir. It was related to, as far as I remember, it was related to G7 or G20. But I'm not sure about which one.
Okay, so Mr. Biden gave that.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Gave that idea. Anyway, once Biden was talking to a space scientist, and he said that Indian Americans have taken over United States. On what ground he might have said like that, though you might not have read about that particular statement. Now, can you tell me on what ground he might have said that the Indian Americans have taken over United States?
So it might be related to CEOs of the technological companies.
Okay, again priority, question of priority.
Yes, sir.
The Indian Americans have taken over United States in order of priority.
Sir, it might be related to Vice President.
Yeah, starting from Vice President, not only related to Vice President, it will start from Vice President.
Thank
So,
you.
who is Vice President?
Kamala Harris.
She is an Indian American, of course. For the first time, the Vice President, Indian American, is there.
Yes.
What else? Now, come to that very part which you started. Yeah, tell me.
Sir,
CEOs.
CEOs, major MNCs, especially technological companies, have their CEOs as people who are Indian origin. So it includes CEO of Twitter, who is Parag Agarwal.
Yeah, just name them. Yeah.
Parag Agarwal, Satya Nadella,
Yeah.
Sundar Pichai.
Mm-hmm.
So these are the
Few days back only, one Indian American has been appointed as CTO of intelligence agency, CIA, Central Intelligence Agency. What is his name?
sir. I can't recall his name.
Hmm?
Sir, I am not aware.
Nandamul Chandani. Mr. Nandamul Chandani. 2-3 days back
Yes,
only.
sir. It was in news.
So on that very basis, he said like that. Now related, one more question related with Delhi. Services dispute is going on between government of Delhi and the central government. What is that service dispute?
Sir, it is
Services dispute.
Sir, it is regarding controlling of the services regarding transfers and postings. So it was this matter was brought in front of Supreme Court in 2018, but judgment was not given on this matter.
All other issues were
Resolved.
resolved except for this.
Yes, sir.
So now you tell me, what is this 239 AA?
Sir, this is related to Delhi government,
What is
the
that?
National Capital Territory of Delhi. This article of constitution is related to that.
So related with that unification of MCDs, you might be very well aware
Yes,
of. So by whom that trifurcation was done? By whom the decision was taken?
Sir, trifurcation was done during the then Chief Minister of Delhi, Sheila Dikshit.
So you can say by the legislative assembly that time
Yes, sir.
took the decision. Now by whom this unification has been done?
Sir, this is being done by the central government.
Under which article of the constitution?
Sir,
239 AA.
thank you.
Thank you.
You are trying for just two services, I guess.
Yes, sir.
You already have the police service in your bag. So recently, the Minister of External Affairs told us that our foreign policy is like car driving, choose any lane. So what was the context in which he said so?
Sir, I am not aware about that. I am sorry.
Okay. Ideally, what would you like your country's foreign policy to be premised on?
Sir, first it should be premised on the real politic where we take into considerations of practical considerations. It should be based on long-term sustainability as well as given the current shift in technological dimension and the change in the multipolar in the geopolitics of the world, wherein China is rising in the Asia, the policy is shifting towards Indo-Pacific. We are moving more towards Europe and USA for diversifying us, diversifying our defense.
They are all, forces outside any national control. So, would you prefer a very transient foreign policy, or you want to be a stickler to a particular line in which the foreign policy should move?
I would want something in the middle, something of a middle ground, because on certain aspect we have to be transient, but our policy framework, the principles on which it is based, should not be changed too often. Otherwise, it reduces the trust of India in the whole world.
Okay, good. I also discover that you are an avid squash player.
Sir,
You played it.
I played it in college, and I
Okay.
got an opportunity to play last time while I was in the academy.
Okay, so why is this game, referred to as a squash? Does it have to do something with the meaning of the word squash?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
Sir, when it was invented the game as it is currently, so they found that when they hit the ball, it squashed against the wall. That is, it became flat while it's came in contact with the wall. So from that English connotation of squash, the word squash.
What is
has
the
been-
Indian connect with that? Of course, it was in England, 19th century. But is there any Indian connect with the squash ball?
Sir, I'm not aware about that.
In all probability, that ball was made of Indian rubber,
Okay, sir.
which
Thank
has that quality. Okay. Then I also discover that you are interested in contemporary shairi.
Yes, sir.
So I'm just presuming this connect between shairi and ghazal.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What does this word mean, ghazal?
Sir, ghazal is generally a collection of couplets, and the beauty about it is that every couplet in itself is complete. It does not require other couplets to complete it,
Very good.
and every couplet can be independent in itself, so it gives a very broad spectrum to talk about certain things. This also gives it a tremendous quotability across spectrum, and there is proper rhyme that is being done after every two lines. So these are the
But what is the meaning of this word, ghazal?
ghazal. Sir, I am not aware about it. I will read about it.
It's interaction between the two beloved. Okay.
Thank
So it has to be shairana.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. And then coming to your mathematics connect, what is it, or why is it we call it Arabic numerals? What are they? Arabic numerals?
Sir, I am not aware.
Are they different from Roman numerals?
Yes, sir. They are different.
Okay. So why don't we call it Indian numerals? They are the same.
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, the way we write,
Yes,
that
sir.
is what Arabic numerals are. And they replaced Roman numerals around, say, 15th century in Europe. What were the distinct advantages of Arabic/Indian numerals having replaced Roman numerals?
Sir, one was Roman numerals are bulky, so it takes a large space to write. Even 30, it will take 3x. Instead, it will take only two numbers. Then it is easier for us to work on the computer system, where it uses 0 and 1.
This came much late.
Yes, sir.
So around the 15th century European scenario, the
Sir,
distinct advantage.
it might also be related to the calculation abilities of
Very
the
good.
Arabic numerals.
Because that's when the so-called commercial revolution
Yes, sir.
in England was about to happen, around 17th century, right? So it made writing of ledger books, etc., maintaining records of transactions very easy.
Oh,
Otherwise, Roman numerals are not that suited for large complex calculations,
thank you, sir.
all right? What else should I ask you? You choose any topic of your choice.
You can ask from state, as sir mentioned, state, something related to state.
Okay. State. What do you mean by state society?
So not aware about the exact word.
Okay. What do you mean by civil society?
So civil society is related to the people in the society who are not part of the government structure, and who can combine them to assert their rights and tell about their rights to the government. So it is generally known as civil society.
Okay. Have you heard of Habermas? Have you heard of public sphere? Public sphere?
So not in academic terms.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, Arpit,
Yes, sir.
so you are already into services.
Yes, sir.
So why you wish to become an IAS officer?
Sir, it has to primarily do with the nature of the job. Indian Administrative Service, apart from law and order, provides an opportunity to work for in revenue administration and administration in general in the initial stages. Then it gives wider opportunities to work in the policy making framework. So I think this will give me more learning opportunities in Indian Administrative Service, as per my leaning towards that.
Okay. One nation, one election.
Yes.
Are you in favor of it?
Sir, for current timing, it has both positives and negatives. My stand is that it should be properly evaluated. A proper legislative research is required in that aspect, and the positives include that if we go on for one nation, one election, then it will reduce the electioneering time. So more focus can be done on the governance part by the ministers concerned. Secondly, generally social issues like communalism, casteism are at high during election time. So it will reduce that. It will also reduce the amount of spending on the exchequer. So the apprehensions that exist are related to dissolution of a state government or a central government. What will be done in that case? So secondly, there generally federal issue, the state issues and central issues are very different. So it might be difficult for a voter to bifurcate that and vote on that basis, although they have shown tremendous ability in that respect in terms of Odisha elections, where they voted for two different parties. So these are the apprehensions. We should have proper legislative research in that aspect first.
Can you give brief overview of present macroeconomic indicators of Indian economy?
Yes, sir. So currently inflation has reached the 6% mark, the CPI inflation of the March. It was 6.95%. The Monetary Policy Committee recently increased the repo rate by 40 basis points. Sir, there is inflation in primarily fuel and food prices. Sir, we have increased the agricultural exports, our agricultural exports to the world. Our fiscal deficit is at a higher level because of the fertilizer subsidies and the primarily food subsidies that we gave last year. Last year it was 9.3%. So this is the.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.